Good morning and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host to fight CPS and also hang on to your children. Um, let me. This is a live podcast from California, and I'm actually in Southern California, and um, um, and I'm here to help you. I've been too a victim of CPS. I've been fighting them for 15 years. I'm a family man, a loving father, 6 children, 3 older and 3 younger. And it was my 3 younger ones that were taken from me after I already raised successfully my 3 older ones who were very successful in life. But apparently, CPS had a vendetta, and I was their target. So did the police locally have me as a target, which is sad. That retaliation is what drives, and money that drives the CPS, the Child Protection System. Now, there's several ways you can interact with the podcast. One of the first ways is just be there to listen to what I am saying and um, what's going on in the show. You don't have to participate or anything else. So, now besides listening in this podcast, you can also text a comment to me. We're broadcast on YouTube using the StreamYard application. You found me on Facebook. And so when you text a comment, it's important that your comment is about CPS questions. That's all we have really time for. I love to talk about other subjects, but it's about CPS and how to get your children back and fight them. Please show your name, city, state, or country and be complete with your CPS case. Well, I mean country, I've had right now 13 countries. I've had a province in South Africa, also in Africa. I've had Mozambique and Liberia. Liberia is in northern South Africa, on the coast, and then Mozambique is on the east coast opposite Madagascar. Also, I've had Rwanda, who is in the central East Africa. I've had Bangladesh and India comment in. I've had Europe, England, Scotland, Wales, United Kingdom, Denmark, and Sweden. I've had North America and Canada and all the 50 states, include Washington, D.C. And then I've also had Mexico. And then in South America, I have Guyana. And then across the Pacific and the land down under, I've had Australia. So I've had quite a lot of different countries express their concerns about CPS. We're open to all CPS. In your case, try to start off with the makeup of your family. Try to start off with the makeup of your family. Whether there's a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, lovers, partnership, or maybe you're a single mom, single dad. And then is the father or the mother involved? And how many children? That's the next thing you want to know is how many children, and the boys and girls and the ages. That helps me a little bit to understand your case. Also, I need to know what the allegations you're accused of, and was it neglect or abuse, and what the details are, so that way I can help you too. Also, I need to know if they took your children, or you gave them to them, or they came to your home, or you went to the office. That's important too. And then where you're at on your case. Are you at the mid mark? Are you 1 year in, 6 months in? And how I can help you. So, besides listening, you can do comments. Now, another way that you can interact is be a guest on my show. Last night I had a guest, and it's from Florida, and her name was Emma, and she had a horrific guest problem there. But to be a guest on my show, all you have to do is contact my producer, and her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. It's grace@vincentdavis.com, and you put in, I'm on twice a day, Monday through Sunday, so you put those show times and show hours and stuff there. So that is a third way. Okay, the fourth way is simple. You just call into my office phone, and I have an office number. It's 626-698-0990. That's 626-698-0990. And you can talk to me there. I'll hold the phone, use the speakerphone. It's very important that you don't have any background because you create echoing. So if you answer me on the phone and you're watching me on the computer, turn the sound down on the computer so it doesn't echo back. If you're only on the phone, you'll have to turn this sound down on that application. Just use the phone. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you. Again, the number is 626-698-0990. I'll leave it up for you. I'm going to contact some of the people that come to this podcast regularly, but the notifications are delayed by Facebook by 8-10 minutes. So I'm going to contact them by texting. Okay. Okay, I just got Nadia, who's from West Hollywood, and she's one of the wreckers. So okay, I just contacted it. Good morning. This is Bob Pace.
Hi, good morning. This is Jessica
Yeah.
from New York.
All right, Jessica from New York. How are you today?
I am painting my whole entire house.
Well, that's a hard job to do. Are you doing it with
Yeah.
spray, or are you rolling it on?
Rolling it. I'm rolling it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good workout for you. That's a real good workout. So
Yeah, I was lucky. I managed to get 5 gallons of paint for $50.
wow, that's not bad. $10 a can. That is doing good.
Yeah.
Seems that everything else is going up in prices too. So what is it this morning I could help you with?
Well, I'm not making any progress with finding a lawyer. I spoke to a lawyer yesterday. He wants $9,800 to be put on retainer. But what I did, because I don't have that much income right now, is I got a legal shield, and that's a membership where you get access to an attorney for $40-$50 a month. So
yeah, that may work. I don't know. You got to make sure when you talk to them that it's the dependency, family juvenile dependency law. That's the area you need.
Yeah, it's the lawyer that I'm dealing with through there. She's with family court.
Has she done a CPS case before? Has she done a CPS case before?
I think, because usually when I talk to other lawyers, I'll tell them, I'm trying to do a 1028, and they're like, you're throwing all these numbers at me. I have no idea what it means. So she seems to understand when I'm telling her what's going on in the case. She tracks it. But I don't think that she'll be able to represent me in court for this case. So I still have to deal with the court-appointed attorney.
Yeah.
They haven't inspected my friend's house to have the kids placed with somebody that they know. They haven't reached out to him or anything. And the court mandated for them to do the inspection for the house the next day. They lied in the court and told the judge they had already done an inspection when they had never been there.
Yeah.
So I reached out to my lawyer on Friday, and I texted him saying, is there any way that we can do an emergency petition to the court to ask for the kids to be placed over there? And he hasn't responded to me. So I'm hoping maybe Monday he'll reach out to me. But because I have nothing else to do and I'm not sleeping, so since I have to stay up, I might as well just renovate my whole entire house.
Wow.
Yeah, I got the paint. I rearranged my kitchen. I'm gonna build myself a whole new pantry. I've been keeping myself busy. I'm keeping myself busy. If not, I will probably go insane at this point. The house is too quiet. It's too quiet in here.
Yeah.
I'm not making much progress as far as the court case is going. And since my lawyer isn't answering me, there's not much that I can do as far as that's concerned.
Well, what was your allegations to begin with? I forgot. What were your allegations?
They started with abuse. They were trying to say that I was abusing my kid, but I don't. There's no proof of it. So then they moved towards neglect. And she was saying it was medical neglect because she she couldn't find. She was saying she can't find anything in the system. She couldn't find. First it was they didn't have any insurance, and I showed her that they had insurance. And then she said there was no record of them going to the doctor's office. They've been going to their whole entire life. So I got a letter from the doctor's office saying they've been going their entire life. And I homeschool my kids. When she was saying, oh, it's educational neglect, they're not being educated. And so I showed her the paperwork saying, I'm homeschooling my kids. And I sent in another paper into the Department of Education just in case they didn't have it on record that I'm educated. And I also sent in the curriculum that I wanted to use for the next year because it was time for me to do that anyways. So they couldn't get me on that. So she started attacking my house. My house is the reason for neglect. My son spilled water on the floor. My family's handprints on the wall. The fish tank is murky. Like anything and everything. My house, it's not perfect. It's just me. I'm doing the best that I can, and I do everything in my house. I do all the repairs myself. I even got my Universal 608 certification so that I can work on the HVAC system for the house. Like, I do everything in my house. So it's not perfect. This is just me doing everything. It takes time.
Well, yeah.
For a reason, and that's the reason that she used to take my children.
And how many children was it, Jessica?
I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. And they got eaten.
Now, is the father involved or not? Is the father involved?
They have 2 different fathers. The oldest father, he is in touch every day. He doesn't live in the state. He lives on the other side of the country. But he's in contact with us every day. He speaks with both of my children every day. My youngest, he doesn't want to be involved with the children. He lives out here, but he doesn't want anything to do with the kids. So I just leave him alone.
Wow.
I'm a trooper.
Now, do you think you get a fair hearing, or are they very corrupt?
Honestly, I'm more concerned with what I'm seeing from ACS right now because, they're in the petition that they gave to the court, in the petition by itself, they're contradicting themselves about all the allegations. They'll say, oh, this isn't here, but this is everywhere. This isn't here, but this is everywhere. This isn't here, but this is everywhere. And they lied to the judge. They blatantly lied to the judge saying that they did an inspection on the house. The last hearing that we had, they said they did an inspection on the house and they had never visited. They'd never been in contact. And my poor friend he took a whole week off of work to make sure that he was available for them. And they just never showed up. They haven't called him. Nothing. But they're telling the judge that they're in communications with him. They said they didn't get the information that they needed from him until a day later, which isn't true. The moment that they were taking the kids away, they got the information they needed from him. He gave them what they needed. And they told the judge they didn't get it until the next day. So it's just, I'm worried about ACS. I spoke to some other lawyers in the areas because I've been contacting everybody. And the lawyers are saying that the judge that I have is a good judge. My attorney, they're not saying he's bad, but they're not going out of their way to say he's good either.
Well, he's a court-appointed attorney, so he probably has a caseload of 30 clients.
Yeah. And I'm trying to make things as simple as possible for him. I'm gathering up as much evidence as I can for him. Whenever I'm in contact, I started communicating with ACS through email, and I CC him in on the email. So that way, any communication that happens, he knows. He has a record of it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible for him so that way he can represent me properly, being up to date on everything that's happening. So even as I'm making these changes in the house, every change that I make in the house, I send him pictures of it so that he sees, like, okay, this is being done. So when they try and attack me again for the next hearing that's on the 15th, he's up to date on everything, so he'll be able to represent me. I'm hoping.
Okay.
Right.
And how about the one you pay $50 a month?
She told me to request an emergency petition with the court on Monday to reach the. So I've been reaching out to my lawyer to see if we can request an emergency petition, but he's not answering. She said request an emergency petition with the court on Monday. I'm hoping that if I do all these renovations on the house and the house is looking like it's fresh out of a magazine, that they'll just give me back my kids. It's a 1028. They'll just give me back my kids.
Well, I hope so.
My friends are saying it doesn't seem to matter because at the end of the day, it comes down to whether or not the caseworker wants to give you back your kids, and the caseworker doesn't seem like she wants me to have children.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm afraid that you're stuck with the child protection system in New York. I want to say hello to a person that came in the room named Natalie. Natalie is from West Hollywood, south of LA, California. Welcome, Natalie. We have Jessica on the phone talking about her case. She's from New York and she has two lawyers. She has a court appointed lawyer, and then she has a lawyer that she got out of Shield. It's a law firm. I mean, it's one of those least expensive. And so she's trying. She's trying everything. Did you try to talk to Vincent Davis at all? Did you try to talk to him at all?
No, I know. I don't like taking away from other people, and I know he's on the other side of the country, so there's not much that he can do to help me in New York. So I don't want to take up his time when he can be helping people in the area.
Well, he helps all over. For $60, it's a consultation. And I'm telling you that you'll get so much in 30 minutes that he'll tell you what to do and not to do. And he knows New York. He has fought cases in New York. So
right now, I don't have much because I'm doing so much, so I have to save up.
I know that. I'm sorry.
Let me think what, because I can use any resource I can get right now. Trying to keep myself busy right now. I'm waiting for Monday because I can't do anything until Monday. But I'm hoping that, because the only complaint that she can possibly have is that my house isn't perfect. So if my house looks perfect, then what can she possibly say? And now it's to the point where I just want to totally redo my house, and I want her to see it and be like, wow.
Yeah.
Because my house, it's tall, but it's small. It's very cramped, So I'm renovating it so I have more space because I like to cook. I make all of my food from scratch. I need more counter space. So I'm going to build myself an extra counter that I can use. I want to turn my first floor into an office, private office. Because right now it's just a den, it's a seating area, and people come in to the house. They can sit there. So I want to turn that into an office so I can work out of there. Because I started my own business last year.
Wow. You've come around. Talking to you, you sound like a really happy mother. You got your act together. You got a game plan. I so hope that you can, get your way with the social workers. Is there some
good news?
Yeah.
I have some good news. It's not related to the case, though. I got my EPA 608, which means that I have the basic licensing that I need to work in HVAC systems. And I spoke to a gentleman yesterday who's been working in cooling systems since 1979, and he wants to take me on as his apprentice.
Wow, that is good news. Now, is this air conditioning work?
Yes, it's HVAC systems, air conditioners, refrigerators, all that stuff. So it's really cool. It's kind of like a passion project of mine. I wanted to learn how these systems run, and to have somebody with so much knowledge about it offer me an apprenticeship. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to take it because I got this case.
You can take it. Don't let them. My advice is to take the case. I mean, take the apprenticeship, work hard at it, and the children and the family will come back together. They cannot punish you or take away from job. You need income. And I'm so impressed with you, Jessica, because you're taking care of the one thing that's important is you have income to pay all the bills and stuff. And maybe you can save up enough money to get a real attorney to get your kids back. But do not let them try to do anything. Don't let them try to do termination of parental rights. You don't want
I'm
to
trying
do.
to get them back before a month has passed. That's why I'm doing all of this.
I know,
I'm
I
trying to
know.
get
Do
everything
what's
done.
asked in the case plan. It is going to be hard, but there are parenting classes at night. There are programs that are done on the weekend, so there is a way to do everything.
Well, they're not asking me to do parenting classes. The caseworker, she spoke with some of my neighbors, and I had a daughter who passed away of SIDS in 2009. And she asked my neighbors if I ever had a daughter from 2009, and they told her no. So she told her supervisor that I made up my daughter.
Oh
And now they
no.
want me to get a mental health evaluation because they think that I'm just imagining
Oh
things.
God. No, they're trying.
They said that
That
my
is
mother, who
that
passed
getting a
away,
mental health evaluation is the step to terminate your parental rights. That's their goal. And you got to be really
yeah,
careful of those. There's nothing wrong talking to you. You'll do fine. I had a girl on last night, Emma from Florida, that did what the CPS did their psychology and mental health, and it came back negative. And the CPS system in Gainesville, Florida was so mad that they wanted her to do another one. And her attorney that she got said, no, you don't have to. And the judge is on her side. So it's very important that you
the judge seems
understand
to be
they're
leaning
trying
towards
to
me getting the
terminate
kids back.
your parental rights. They want that child to be in foster care. They get money until the child turns 18 from the state who gets it from the federal government. And I'm not sure in New York, but I think they get about $20,000 per child per month. That's a lot of money.
Well, see, the problem is this isn't the first ACS case that I've had. My neighbors have a vendetta against my family, and there
Oh,
was
it's a
one.
layman type.
I
Yes, I had a layman vindictive. I know where you're going through.
I used to work as a pharmacy technician, making the medication that people get, and they called in 7 reports against me in 1 week. One of them being that I was cooking methadone in my house with my children there. So that's
Well,
why
yeah,
I just
this is the layman, and they got to prove their case in court.
no, they ended up closing that case out. But every time, because I don't have a lot of people coming to my house, I just like to be home in my own peace. So when they see that there's no people coming back and forth to the house, that's when they know that the case has been closed and they start calling in cases again. I've been dealing with ACS since before my oldest child was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there
And then they
people
told me
that
to,
can give you, like, people that can vouch for you that you're a good person, that you have not done those things?
well, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time hanging around people. I usually just, if I have to go outside, I run outside, I handle my business, and I go home.
Okay.
You know,
All
I
right.
don't, I don't really hang around people that often, and
Well, I know. I'm just
I
trying
don't.
to help you. I just trying to help you with because you can subpoena
I've
them
been thinking
in
about it.
court. You
I've been
know.
thinking about it, like letters of support, gathering up letters of support, but
You
like
know,
I keep my
letters
kids to
are
myself.
hearsay. You know, the judge is going to look at them and say they're hearsay, even if they're notarized. You need to
Yeah.
subpoena people to stand up for what they write in letters. It's really sad, but the courts are very difficult about letters.
Mm. Well, I've been trying to strategize and come up with ways that I can reinforce my case, but the judge seems to want the kids to be brought home. So once I make the
Good.
changes that they're asking for, I get the mental health evaluation, which has been a problem because out here where I live, there's no advocacy groups. They don't have any advocacy groups for the parents. Everywhere else they have them, but not where I live.
Well, you got to
Um,
be careful about the advocacy groups like the CASA or the Ombudsman or those kinds of individuals. They'll report back to CPS. They're not your friend.
mm,
So it's a good thing
well,
you don't have the advocacy groups.
um, we don't have. There's not a lot of resources out here for us when
Well,
we're
does
fighting
your
with CPS.
medical insurance, can they provide you a mental health examination?
That's what I've been doing. So I reached out to my insurance and I asked them for a list of psychologists. It has to be a forensic psychologist because they're going to have to submit the evidence into court.
Right,
So it's a specific
right.
type of psychologist that I need. And they're not answering their phones. Nobody's answering their phones. The people who do answer their phones, they say that the only time that they do mental health evaluations is if it's for an intake so that you can start in their therapy process. And
Well,
I just need the mental health evaluation so I can submit it to court. I'm not
right,
trying to be
right.
here
You
for a
just
long
got to
time. I'm
keep
trying to
at
get
it.
into that apprenticeship.
Yeah, you got to
I need
keep
all the
at it.
time I can get.
Right, Jessica, you got to keep at it over and over. I know it sounds really tough. Um,
I'm going to.
yeah.
I'm going to.
Thank
And
you,
I'm very
Natalie.
stubborn.
Natalie
And once
said
I
the
set
same
my mind,
thing. Natalie says you need a forensic psychiatrist. So she's listening.
yeah.
She's trying to help. There are good people in this room that
Yeah.
come here and that do try to help. And Natalie's one of
Thank you.
them. So yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. She
But
hears
I'm
you.
very
She hears you
stubborn.
talking.
And I'm gonna keep going at it. I won't stop. I won't sleep. I won't stop until my kids are home. And I'm gonna raise hell in the most polite way until I get them back. Until they have been so completely surrounded by the facts of the case that they can't ignore it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep going until my kids come home. And anything you have to say, because like I said, I do everything in my house, all the repairs, all the cooking, all the cleaning. So tell me what you want me to do, and I guarantee you it'll be done by tomorrow.
That's beautiful. That's the right way to think. You're going to get your children back. I know you are. I just hope you keep me in touch and tell me how it goes.
I will.
And again, you can call me twice a day. I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week.
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
I promise.
I'm only a phone call away.
It's been great talking to you. You have
Yeah.
given me a little bit of peace of mind in this process.
Oh, I'm glad that
I
I'm
don't
able to
have
do
anybody.
something. Well,
Thank you.
I'm here and I'm a good listener and a loving father and I love family and I love to see them get back together.
Well, I hope I have a success story for your channel very soon.
Yes, I hope so too, Jessica. Thank you so much for calling in.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Natalie, for the advice. I appreciate it, and keep doing this amazing work because the parents out here need it.
Yes,
we need it.
Yes,
so
they
thank
do.
You.
All right. You have a
day.
lovely afternoon.
Bye.
Well, that was an interesting person named Jessica from New York, and she's fighting to get her kids back. It's apparently, these CPS workers are so corrupt. They're trying to do a valuation on her to determine she's mental so they can terminate her rights. And you got to be careful when you do that because you should use your own because you use theirs, there's a good chance to be corrupt. Even a girl last night, Emma from Florida, called and said that she had one done by the agency's suggestion and it passed, didn't like the results, so they're still trying to make her take a second one. It's sad that CPS workers are not on your side. They're not there to do family reunification. They're strictly interested in separation, and they're very good con artists. I don't know how else to tell them. They lie, they cheat, they retaliate, they lose the money. Right now in Richmond, Kentucky, there's over $900,000 unaccounted for. They're doing an audit of the state funds for CPS, and 900,000 is not accounted for. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And and I am amazed that they get away with it. That's the problem that I cannot see. There's no check and balances in the CPS system. There's no watchdog. There's no board of directors or supervisors. You know, as a social worker in most places, you don't have to have a college degree. They have no experience in social classes. They need to take social classes. They should have a college degree in social, maybe have a minor in clinical psychiatry, or vice versa, maybe have a major in clinical psychiatry and a minor in social work. But they need that background, just like this will lead me into my first rule number one. Fighting CPS is like doing open heart surgery. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And so, if you know anything about heart surgery, it's a very complex surgery. You're working with a living heart, and only professional doctors do it. Lay people do not do open heart surgery, like plumbers and so forth. Good morning, Truth Movement. Welcome to my podcast. So you don't have a layperson or yourself or your spouse or anybody else that's going to cut open your heart and work on it. You're going to have a professional doctor who's been through medical school, done an internship, and has met to another doctor before he goes and practice the open heart surgery. And so I'm telling you that you got to have somebody like a doctor, an attorney, and I have one. His name is Vincent W. Davis. He's a professional attorney. He's been doing this for 35 years. He has fought CPS and won cases and got children back. He's also sued CPS and won millions of dollars in both state lawsuits and civil lawsuits. So he's a good candidate to represent you. All you need to do is call in and talk to him. His number is 888-888-6582, and he will help you. You can do a consultation. Tell the office when you call in that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, say that Bob Pace sent you, and then you can have your consultation. It's 30 minutes for $60. 30 minutes for $60. So please call in, talk to him, do a consultation. At the same time, ask him if he can retain you. He works in Southern California, but he also does Northern California. He does the states. It is a little bit more because of the travel, the per diem. You know, he has to have a hotel and transportation to get there. So that's why it's a little bit more money. But he judges all cases by the length the case been going on, the type of case it is, and so call that number 888-888-6582. Also, there is a website. I forgot to put that up. That you can see his caseload. It's a ticket run at the bottom. It says you can just type in where it says Candly, CALENDLY.com /law office VWD /Bob Pace. That will show his workload, and you can go to that link and it will show where a time is available. You could have a consultation with Mr. Davis. And you'll feel a lot better when you have. I did hire Mr. Davis, but I waited for too long. My case would have been over quicker, and I probably would not have lost my daughter because I was trying to do it with a court-appointed attorney, which the problem with them is that they don't have the experience that a regular child protection attorney would have in the dependencies courtroom. And so it's very important that you have that kind of individual. A court appointed attorney, has a caseload of maybe 30 or more clients, and they won't have time for your case outside of meeting you at the courtroom. And then again, so that consultation and that Candly.com /law office VWD /Bob Pace will help you immensely. Now, is there any questions you have, Natalie? Is there anything you'd like to talk about? I've just discussed rule number 1. Natalie, if there's anything you'd like to have us talk. Oh, you're asking me a question that you had with guardianship. What is your question regarding guardianship, Natalie? What is your question? In the truth movement, do you have a question or a comment you want to make? Natalie, are you there? What is your question about guardianship, Natalie? Okay, rule number 2. Okay, you are there. You were asking me, Natalie, about a question you had regarding guardianship. What is your question, Natalie? If you want to call in, it's perfectly fine to call in, Natalie. What was your question? Welcome, this is Bob Pace.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, my question for it's Natalia. My question for the guardianship is, how do I give her notice? Like, will the court give her notice? I have to fill out the forms, though. But do I put myself as a guardian or a relative?
No, you want... Okay, first of all, how old is the child?
I have 2 little girls, and they're 15 and 14.
Well, you don't want to...
And this woman has them because I terminated my rights.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if you can get a guardianship. You can try, but I think since you're the biological mom, they would give you, but your rights were terminated, so I don't know what that's going to do. I do not know.
Well, I don't know, but I looked at it. Who could be the guardian? It can be somebody like that doesn't even have rights.
Yeah, I know that. Are they special needs children?
No. Okay. They don't have to be special needs. They can just get guardianship, or the child could apply for guardianship.
Well, does your children want you as their guardian?
Well, I think so. I mean, they haven't seen me so long. From what I was seeing, they were afraid of these people.
Oh boy.
Because what they told me is they didn't even want to be with these people. They wanted to actually just go live with their brother in Oregon. And I said, okay, but it's up to the judge since they hid the ICPC for my, it's like they don't just get two separate ICPCs. No, they get one. It's just because they're going to the same house. I mean, it's just they were going to be sit in the same house. So this is why I want the guardianship, because they can see their brother. But my son, he's actually entitled to have visits. So, but I was told it's up to the foster parents to get arrange it to the visits. But my uncle can ask for visits.
Okay. Has your son visited him?
No. I want my son to know my daughters, but I don't want them to be seen in that kind of situation. That's not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just want to get that guardianship. So I have to just look at the papers, and I don't really know all of them, and I need help, because if I do the wrong paperwork and everything, it's not going to work. My aunt wants the guardianship, though.
Now, why does your aunt want the guardianship?
Because that way, she just wants this. That way, that she explained this, like she just wants them home. She doesn't really like because now she's too old now and stuff. But she just wants them home, and she doesn't want them with those people. She wants them home. That's her main.
Doesn't she want you to have the children?
Yeah, she does. She wanted them anyway from when we were doing the case, but the problem is they wouldn't let my aunt have them. And my aunt said yes, she had to work, but then she said she'd bring somebody to help her.
Wow.
And then they wanted me to have a nanny, and I said okay. So I went and found a nanny, and then they never they never did anything. They just went ahead and turned in my rights. I mean, I did the program. I wasn't and like everybody else today, like Jessica and Emma, yeah, they accused of me of being mentally not stable. But that I'm surprised. These are like the second people I've met, group of girls, and I was like, ladies, moms, I'm just like, it really is bad, because like there's nothing they could find they on me, because I don't have a criminal record and I don't do drugs, so they had to make up that whole story of me being mentally unstable.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So it's a common thing now. But that's discrimination. Even if somebody has a mental disability, they cannot discriminate against you, because there's a Disabilities Act, Even if they have a learning disability, they can't do that. But they're doing it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's not good.
I took even an IQ test. It said I had a high IQ. She really needs to go to a forensic therapist to test everything, because to rule out everything, Jessica and Emma, because that way they can present the evidence and the psychology report better than a regular therapist. But sometimes the regular therapist is good, but the one I had later, the regular therapist, she didn't come to court.
Really? Wow.
She didn't come to court. She thought that they were going to ring her in, call her on her phone, and have her come to court.
Yeah.
So my advice is everybody is make sure you have the right therapist for your situation. Keep looking, because the one I had was really great, but they didn't like her because she kept winning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. The CFS made made me get another therapist. And I didn't want that, and I had to spend more money on somebody who, yes, they were good. She had good letters, but she didn't know the system. Even though she was like a social worker for DCFS before, she didn't know the court system. So it was bad in the end because she didn't come to court, but then she did make good letters.
Wow.
It's just not fair because
I agree.
I may have had like a slight problem, but it wasn't like life threatening, for my kids.
Yes, yes.
I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm not crazy.
I know you're not.
If I'm crazy, I know it by now.
Yeah.
But then you can go crazy. Anybody can. That's life,
Well, it's their MO. That's what they start off with, is try to take your terminate rights. The quickest way to do that is to get you mentally incompetent to take care of children. That's what they're trying to do.
Right. So what they did is they brought me somebody that's mentally incompetent to monitor me. They did it on purpose. Like, she was an FFA worker, so she'd write the craziest things because it wouldn't make sense.
Did you ask for a replacement or a change?
I kept asking the supervisor at the FFA agency, the Penny Lane over there on Sepulveda, over there and in the valley, and she's like, well, at first she was like, I'll try to monitor the visits, and then she did, and then they brought somebody else once in a while, and then after a while, they never did. They had to have this girl because they didn't want to discriminate against her. But that's wrong. I have the right to have somebody else. But since it's FFA, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And the woman that has my daughters, I don't even think she's even taking care of them personally. I don't even, she just wanted the money, She came up with this, they're just ridiculous. They said that she was saying things about me, the foster mom, and she didn't say anything because she probably didn't say nothing because she never was at the visit.
Wow.
The only visit she would get was to sit in the lobby of the counseling center. It was a special program I did. So it was counseling for kids, and it was PCIT. It was parental child interaction therapy. So I had to sit in a booth with my daughters and have what do they call it, on my head, one of those earphones.
Headset.
And the therapist would watch me.
Headset.
Interact with the kids.
Yeah, headset.
But what?
It's called a headset.
Right. Yes, earphone, headset. Anyway, it was going well, but then once they terminated reunification, I didn't get that therapy. So I had to file a writ for my unification. So today is the day when they did that, and a long time ago. And today's my parents' wedding anniversary. That's not fair because I don't have to deal with this. I just want everybody to know that I still want to have my kids. I'm not crazy. Bob is helping everybody here. You guys, you shouldn't have to have them in your life because somebody messed up earlier. They just create a record,
Yeah.
For nonsense. They looking in your house that anything is wrong. You could have the most perfect house, but if they see I know, for example, if your plant just wilted, now you're neglectful.
Wow.
They do crazy stuff like that,
Yeah. Well, you can try for guardianship. I really don't know. They probably wouldn't stop you. You're the biological mom. You want to get it back. But what is the social worker going to do? What's the social worker?
No, there's no more social worker. I have to go to probate.
I'm confused.
Because you don't, Faye is doing, she's going to probate for her son.
What is probate?
Because he's older now. He's in his 20s. So
yeah, but your kids.
They don't need to.
Your kids are not old enough, so you can't go to probate.
No, they are under California law. You can start a guardianship to emancipate them too.
Oh, okay. I'm learning something there too. Thank you for sharing.
Because they can be emancipated minors at 14. Drew Barrymore, at 14 years old, became an emancipated minor here in California, so she could work in the movie industry.
Wow. I knew that she.
So, but then she had some other problems.
Yeah.
But eventually she was granted her emancipation, and I think her aunt was like the guardian for a while. But then her mother was like, my mother couldn't control her because she was on drugs, and then they had to take her to a facility for mental home, and then after that, then her aunt got guardianship, and then she applied for emancipation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But it's a process. I just wish I just need that help. I mean, I can look up all this stuff, but I just need the help to know what step is correct. I mean, my aunts could sign them, and you could have actually two guardians. So,
Yeah, I
it's
do.
just a process. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
It's all.
That is so hard for you.
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, because like it takes a lot of time and energy to do this. I mean, on me, but I just don't want my daughters to like live with strangers, especially that are not very well-rounded and kind. It's just not right. I mean, I don't like their culture. I don't like them. I don't want to discriminate against them. Some of the culture is okay, but I just don't like them personally because I've met them and they don't seem to have a warm feeling towards anyone. And they already have 2 children of their own, so it wasn't necessary to have 2 more children. It was just for the money, you know. So the best thing I think is just to apply for the guardianship, and then they'll just serve her. I just have to pay for a process server. That's how they give you notice.
Oh, okay.
Or you could actually have someone else serve her, like a friend, or do it. Or sometimes you can have, but you have to have it served like formally. So that's the point. Well, I think there's like 3 pages in the probate court that you need applications that you need forms that you need to do that you have to be filled out, and that's all I have to. What I'm going to do is just go down to the LA Law Library or UCLA Law Library and get some help. They actually have workshops, or something. But yeah, I just need that. Which forms to fill, and who should be the guardian and everything, because you could be the guardian, Bob, yourself.
I guess
could
so.
You imagine?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But...
I don't see a problem. It just be weird to not have them home. I haven't had my daughters since they were 2 and 3 in my own place, and it's hard, But it doesn't matter how bad your house is, it's how good you're a parent. Everybody's house is messed up. I mean, because of COVID. You know that. You can't, and inflation. So you're going to keep stuff. I mean, just rice alone, like a small package of rice is like $7. Canned fish, like 14-ounce can of salmon is, I don't know, like $4. It's ridiculous. So, clothing. I don't know how much clothing is now, but I have a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I sell that, at the exchange place. And, yeah, how many minutes? We have to do the rules. What? Hello?
I was laughing. That's what I was doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I got a bad connection.
No, you're asking. We have to do the rules. How many minutes? Our time is up, Natalie.
Okay.
And I want to thank you for talking on the show. It was very delightful to have you on our show as always. Thank you, Truth Movement. That was nice, you are. And thank you, Jessica from New York.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, she was the first caller in there. So I want to thank all you people. I'll be on again tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll see you tonight. God bless you. Keep trying. And this is Bob Pace signing off.